Welcome to the Backcourt Breakdown. As you enter into the gym, the concession stand is seated to your left, the fans are seated to the right, and do not get distracted by the cheerleaders because we're here to talk about basketball.
Let's get it!
Let's go!
Man, amazing ball game last night, man. Everybody came into the series talking about Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, how they were going to be the new dynasty. But last night was a whole different story, man. I mean, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks was amazing last night. They walked into San Antonio, took the dub. Final score, I believe, was 105-95. I mean, they're leading the series right now 1-0. So the question is, did the Knicks just expose a weakness in the Spurs, or this is just the beginning of a long series? Go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Backcourt Breakdown podcast, a podcast where we talk about basketball from every angle. I am your host, Junior, and I am back with my co-host, Mike. How are you doing this morning, my brother?
Doing great, my boy. Finally got the link up, my boy.
Finally got to record an episode in person, and today we're going to be talking about last game with y'all, man. Now, let's do a little bit of a quick recap of last night's game, man. Right. So, NBA Finals, Knicks playing Spurs. Right. You know, two teams were great talent. Talk about it a little bit, man. Tell me, what you saw watching that game last night, bro?
I saw a hard-fought game by both teams to start. And as the game continued to went on, you know, the game was back and forth for a majority of the game. And then when it got to closing time, you saw which team had a great amount of experience. And it showed with closing Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, man. I mean, last night's game was amazing, man. I mean, the Spurs started that game hot, you know, I believe. They were knocking down shots early. I mean, the Spurs took control most of the game for like 3 quarters until the fourth. I mean, everything looked like it was going their way until, you know, JB came in and he showed us the reason why he's a superstar on the verge. So before we dive in more into the game, man, start the first quarter, man. Let's talk about Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper came into that game, missed some big plays. He attacked at the rim, made some shots, man. And you've been praising Dylan Harper, talking about how, you know, he's a world key, but he's in a vet body, man. Tell me a little about what you saw watching Dylan Harper last night.
I saw a lot of poise from him, man. I always spoke highly about Dylan Harper in his game. I just see a lot of poise, a lot of composure, gets to his spots. He takes the right shots. He gets downhill when he needs to, especially in transition. Dylan Harper does a great job of getting downhill in transition. Yeah. And I also think the Spurs made a big mistake by not having him in the game in the late fourth quarter to where he can use that youth to get in transition and make the Knicks pay.
Facts, man. Dylan Harper was amazing last night. I mean, we were watching the game together. We were live. I mean, he came in that game and it was just on right away, you know. Yep. Like, he got that ball, he got downhill. It don't matter who was guarding him, JB, Josh Hart. I mean, he was just putting his shoulder into them, getting to his left hand every time. You know, he was catching and shooting the ball. He made some great plays last night. And like you said, man, I was very surprised he wasn't in the game late in the fourth quarter because I believe, you know, having a guy like that in the game at that time would definitely help you, you know, finish that game. All right, now, let's talk about another guy, man. Big per Cat. Cat was, to me, I mean, people were saying Josh Hart was a player of the game, but to me, Cat was a player of the game to me, man. I mean, Cat really exposed, I wouldn't really say exposed, but he did something last night that I think a lot of teams will probably start doing when they're playing the Spurs moving on, you know. Him be able to stretch the floor and knock down the 3-ball was able to drive Victor Wembanyama out the paint, you know. There was a couple of times where Victor was so worried about him shooting threes that he's pressuring him. And what that creates is Cat is ripping low, attacking the rim, one dribble, he's finishing out the mark, he's getting fouled, you know. And there was a little moment in that game when the Knicks couldn't really find a rhythm to, you know, score the basketball. But, you know, Cat was able to help them stay into that in the game and, you know, get some buckets and put some pressure on the rim and help the Knicks, you know, stay in that game. But my question for you is, you know, what did you saw watching Cat? What do you think he was doing that was helping his team offensively and defensively to stay in that game?
First off, on the offensive end, Cat did a great job of, like you said, pulling Victor Wembanyama out of the paint, which will eventually have to force the Spurs to think about what defensive scheme they want to be in because that Cat's first step is much faster than Wemby. So offensively, he was able to pull Wemby out the paint and then get downhill with little to no rim pressure there because Wemby's the primary shot blocker. Yeah. And then defensively, he's He's a bigger body, lower to the ground than Wemby, because Wemby's 7'4", so everybody's lower to the ground than him, but he's much stronger in frame. So he's able to be a little bit more physical in the paint with Wemby, which can throw him off.
Yeah, facts. All right, now let's talk a little bit about some the Spurs problem, man. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, he had a solid game, you know, but it wasn't pretty, you know. The Knicks made him work for it. Every time he touched the ball, it was, you know, like they were sitting in a gap, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was trying to break down his primary defender, but the help side was always there. I mean, whenever he got the ball, I mean, the help side was there quick. But my concern was, you know, somebody that I needed to show up yesterday didn't show up. De'Aaron Fox, man. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, he did make some shots, but down the line, like, he didn't perform the way he needed to, because I believe a guy like that performs, you know, you definitely win that game. So, I mean, my question for you, man, like, what do you think De'Aaron Fox needs to do going into the next series in order for them to be successful? Because New York Knicks is not just any team. They're, to me right now, the best team in the league right now. You know, they're up 1-0 against the Spurs. So what do you think De'Aaron Fox needs to do next game to help his team win?
Yeah, I was saying this after rewatching a lot of the film. De'Aaron has to be the vet point guard on the team, which means in those last 3 minutes of the game, when Wemby's bringing the ball down the floor, you have to come get the ball and orchestrate the offense. That's why we have point guards on the floor for it. This whole thing about positionless basketball, me personally, I'm starting to see that there's multiple sides to it, bro.
Facts.
And there's sides where it can be bad because in certain moments there has to be a role that everyone has to play on the court.
Facts. And like that said, man, you can't have two captains in one boat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to know what they're good at and what they need to do in order to help the team win, you know? And I think that's why the Knicks is so good, because they all understand, okay, when it come down to that time, we know who we're going to give the ball to. Exactly. We know who we're going to run the offense to, and that's JB. Let's talk about JB, man. I mean, a lot of people were saying Josh Hart was their player of the game. I think JB was my player of the game, man. To start that game, I mean, we all saw he got bumped into the knee. He was a little bit hurt, you know, went back to the locker room, came back, man. I mean, to me, JB, he's a definition of what you call a warrior, man. A small guy, he's barely 6'1", but he can get it done. You know what I'm saying? You know, people always gonna talk about like his scoring, but last night I saw something that he did that changed the entire game to me. You know, he got a rebound, offensive tip. That to me, that's what sealed the game. He tipped the ball back, then swing it to him back to the corner. He knocks down a three. You know, that changed the entire game, man. I mean, he finished with 30 points. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter. And that just goes to show JB is a good closer, you know? I mean, when the final pressure arrived, you know, they all know who the ball is going to go to, you know? But it's like, you can't stop him.
Right.
He going to get to his spots. He going to hit his bum face, mid-range. I mean, man, you always say that, you know, you be studying, you're going to study Jalen Brunson game, man. What was it last night about his game that, you know, got your attention that you're like, okay, I see why, like, this dude is special?
Yeah, Jalen Brunson, like you said, he's a warrior. He's a very persistent guard. He started off the game a little bit slow, but he never stopped playing aggressive. And that's one thing that all you guards in the backcourt should pay attention to. Just because you'd rather continue to take shots and remain aggressive to put pressure on the defense than to become timid after your shot's not falling. He also picked his spots very well, but most importantly, what makes Jalen Brunson so effective, I would say, is his mid-range game, but his ability to get to those spots through his footwork. If you pay attention to Jalen Brunson's footwork, it's probably the highest that it could be in the league, man. He understands how to pivot, step through, and just get to those pockets as a 6-foot undersized guard.
True. I mean, I don't know, bro. There's a play when he came down, in and out with his right, switch back to left, late. I'm like, yo, mind you, he's doing this in tradition against footers. I'm like, yo, this dude is tough.
He's nasty, man.
And that final play again, bro, like, I remember my coach would say, like, whoever wins, we call that a 50-50 play, because the ball is in the air, we don't know who's going to get it. Yeah. So whoever wins 50-50 most of the time in the game, sometimes can win that game, because they show that you want it more. And I'm not saying the Spurs didn't want it more than the Knicks did, but that possession right there, it kind of dictated the whole rest of the game, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, big shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. I mean, if the Knicks win, he's final MVP. Like that's gonna be that's a good season. You know, that's a good regimen.
It could be Cat too, though.
It could be Cat, but I think
you see how they did Curry back in what year was that? They gave it to Iguodala.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It all depends.
They was tripping
about that. Cat.
Okay, man. Let's talk about another guy, man. OG Anunoby, man. OG last night to start the game, he was a little bit cold. But going to that little third, going to the fourth segment, man, he did something that I was very impressed with him. He made shots, you know. And I remember my coach used to tell me, you know, the difference between a hooper and a pro is pro make shots, you know. And last night, OG made some big shots, you know. There was a play where he got in a corner, he jabs that Wimby was guarding 7-5, jab, knocks it down, you know. He attacks they hit another catch and shoot three in the corner, late in the shot clock, he knocks it down. Like, those type of shots that he made helps them stay in the game. Because mind you, they were down 14 the entire game. They fought back, closed it down to 2, you know. OG was very special, man. What do you think about OG performance yesterday?
OG played well. He got in the passing lanes very well, got in transition, but he hit big threes.
Yeah, big threes, bro.
In that last 5 minutes, that last 10 minutes, in the fourth quarter in general.
Yeah.
He just made very, very, very big plays, knocking down shots when they needed to. And like you said, he went on a 8-0 run?
Yeah, 8-0 by himself.
I mean,
I was on these niggas. He was on them.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna give another big shot to another guy. This is where, you know, it goes back to what Michael's saying, like this positionless basketball where, you know, everybody trying to be the guy. Last night there was somebody that understood what he needed to bring to the team. Josh Hart, man, 15 rebound. I call him a 6'4" center from the high school, bro. He was out there balling. You know, he probably didn't have a big offensive game, but he did things that impacted the game. You know, he was playing defense, he was rebounding, and I feel like in order to be a winning team and championship winning team, you need guys like that. You know what I'm saying, on your team. Do you agree with me, Mike?
Facts.
So big shout out to Josh, man. You know, I'm very excited to see what the Knicks gonna be doing. Okay, now there's a moment throughout this game that, you know, we're gonna break down. And that also, this is gonna go back again to what you said about positional basketball. I know you remember this. So if I remember, I think when we just scored, I think he ties the game was 94 if I'm right. I'm not sure about the score. But I throw him the ball on the wing. I guess he's trying to go ISO versus Cat. You know, he dribbled off his foot. That's a big key moment because that changed the whole game. Because the game was tied. You score right there, you go up 2. But what happened? You turn it over and then score off of it. So my question to you is like, what does Wemby needs to do in order to be more efficient and successful in the offensive end? Because right now, what I'm seeing when I watch Wemby, I see a guy that's 7'5", you know, has a lot of skills, can basically do everything on the basketball court, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes he kind of get caught up in the moments where it's almost like there's so much going on, he doesn't even know he doesn't know if he should shoot it, pull up mid-range, or go dunk it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it feels like he got so much too, he doesn't know what to use. So like, tell me a little bit, what do you think Wemby needs to do to enable it to be more efficient on offense and just get to his spots?
He's going to have to develop, like you said, I don't know if you said it or you told me in an interview, someone spoke about how Wemby needs go-to moves.
Yeah.
We see that that's very true. If we compare all the other great scorers in the fourth quarter, they know their spots that they're going to, and they know how they're going to get to these spots.
Yeah.
Wemby his game is so broad right now.
Yeah.
He just does whatever comes to his mind, and it ends up working a lot of the times. But in those crucial moments, you need go-to spots and go-to moves that you can get to when you need a bucket.
Facts. Yeah, man. So my thing is like you said, man, I feel like once Wemby, I mean, the thing is, mind you, the guy's only, 22 years old, and he's in the NBA Finals, so those mistakes is gonna happen, you know, it's part of the game. But for him going forward, like I hope this summer, like you said, he gets with one of the greats that, is like you said, Carmelo Anthony, like for him to probably work on like some mid-post game where, you know, when he catches in the mid-post now, he know what to do, how to like turn to his right or left shoulders, you know.
He would be a monster.
He'll be a monster. Even like him developing a hug shot. Like I don't think I ever seen him show, like he's 7'5". I don't think anybody was blocking that, you know what I'm saying? But I mean the series is 1-0 right now. They play next game again in San Antonio. Who do you got winning this game, bro?
I got San Antonio.
You got San Antonio winning?
Yeah.
I mean, my question is, man, I mean, do you think the New York Knicks are the new favorite to win the championship after it's in game 1 now?
Nah, I think it's a little bit too quick, bro.
A little bit too quick? A lot of basketball left?
Yeah, it's a lot of basketball left. It's possible, but I still got Spurs, though.
Yeah, man. I mean, last night game, watching, I'm like, okay, the Spurs is different because they had a guy like Shabani was making some insane threes. Like, I really would talk about him. Like, he was like 5 for 6 going to halftime, you know? And it's like, Vassell hasn't had a good game yet, and we know what he can do. He's a good shooter. He hasn't been hitting shots. Yeah, man. I mean, Wemby hasn't had a monster game. He's just game 1, you know what I'm saying? But there's a stat that say teams that win game 1 have a 70% chance of winning the NBA Finals. So, I mean,
That's a big change.
That's a big chance. So, and New York Knicks is not a team that's just going. They're fighters, bro. They got a bunch of dogs on that team. So I am very excited to see what Game 2 is going to be looking like. I mean, who do you think is going to be the X factor for that game for both teams?
For both teams, the X factor is going to be. I'll start with the Spurs. Spurs X factor is going to be like the role players. De'Aaron's going to have a better game.
Facts.
If we're going to have you in the fourth quarter as our vet, you have to orchestrate. You have to go, come here, give me the ball. That's what you're going to have to do. If not, it's going to have to be Dylan Harper and then the role players like Champagne, obviously. For the Knicks, Cat, continue to hoop. Hart's going to do that regardless.
Yeah.
He's consistent. He's proved that to us.
For
So
sure.
it's going to be between Cat and Brunson to be those main guys. And it's going to be a great series after that.
I'm excited, man. All right, y'all. Mike, you got anything for us before we leave, bro?
Shoot, as you're leaving the gym, don't forget to pick up your Sour Punch straws, your empty chip bags, your Gatorade bottles, and that's all I got.
All right, man. It's the Bad Call Breakdown Podcast, and we appreciate y'all tuning in to watch this episode. And deuces, we out.
Deuces.